Yo soy Berta Roque, soy salvadoreña, tengo 77 años y esta es mi historia. Soy activa, eso sí, soy activa. Aunque esté yo sola, pongo música, veo televisión, hago mi oficio y todo, como les dije, limpio mi casita, limpio las paredes, limpio las puertas. Ya no salgo, no tengo esa diversión, ya no hago ejercicio, porque de todas maneras esa enfermedad ha venido casi a arruinar muchas vidas y también hasta la mía. No es que yo esté enferma, no me ha dado, gracias a mi Padre Eterno, pero ya no es lo mismo porque uno ya no puede conversar con la gente, ya no puede estar en reuniones. He dejado de ir a los cumpleaños de mis nietas. He dejado de ir a los cumpleaños de mi nuera, de mis hijos, y así es que yo no los visito a ellos, ni ellos me visitan a mí. Uno lo que le afecta es el estrés, el estar encerrada, el estar sabiendo que uno no se comunica con nadie. Ya no son actividades que lo hace uno como cuando está bien, ¿me entiende? Y por eso, en eso los ha afectado. Habemos personas aquí que no manejamos, necesitamos un transporte para que nos ayude a salir, a comprar la comida y que nos lleven al doctor. Aquí nosotros no tenemos nada, no tenemos un transporte, lo necesitamos porque no todos, como le digo, tenemos carro. Hay personas, viejitos, no se pueden subir a la guagua. No se pueden, están llamando los taxis, y eso no es justo. Somos una parte de ancianos que necesitamos ayuda en ese motivo. Usen su mascarilla, que se laven las manos, que usen guantes si pueden y siempre que usen su alcohol allí para limpiarse. Eso les pido. Y cuiden a su familia, que eso es bueno por todos nosotros. No lo agarren a juego.
Mi nombre es Eduardo González, soy de México. Tengo 80 años y voy a platicar mi historia. Yo iba a un banco que está por ahí, en la calle 14, por ahí, en la calle U. Y resulta que me empujaron y yo caí al suelo. Al caer al suelo me abrí esta parte de la frente. Me ocasionó mucha molestia, mucha sangre salió. Luego vinieron la ambulancia y me llevaron al hospital. Me causaron un problema muy grande porque tuve que estar 8 días en el hospital. Porque perdí un poco el balance. Yo no podía caminar porque me quería como caer. pues soy víctima de esta cosa, como se llama, coronavirus o algo le dicen así. Ya le han puesto tantos nombres que yo no sé cuál. Ha perjudicado a todo el mundo, como ustedes saben. Pero en lo que me toca a mí, pues ha sido muy duro porque en el tiempo que estuve en el hospital perdí varios appointments para el doctor. Se descontrola uno bastante. Pues yo iba a un club que se llama Vida Center. Ahí podíamos pintar. Yo personalmente yo tocaba la guitarra, cantábamos. Ahora nos han quitado esos privilegios y ya no podemos. Está cerrado el centro ese. Es ocasiones que nos deprimamos, ocasiona mucho la depresión. Se nos quita el hambre. Yo he perdido unas buenas libras porque yo pesaba más. Porque el hambre, no tengo mucha hambre, pero como para poder seguir adelante, ¿no? Si no, ¿qué voy a hacer, no? Sí, la gente es un poco indiferente con las personas mayores como nosotros. Y si nos dan un apoyo es muy bueno para nosotros y para ellos. Algún día van a llegar a esta edad y van a necesitar la ayuda también. Necesitamos la comprensión y la ayuda y el respeto sobre todo.
Mi nombre es María B. Hernández, mi edad es 77 años, soy salvadoreña y vivo aquí en Casa Iris en Estados Unidos, en Washington, D.C. Esta pandemia me agarró en El Salvador. El día que yo iba a salir para acá, la noticia más dura fue que estaba cerrado el aeropuerto. Y entonces, allí nos quedamos en El Salvador. De suerte que estaban de una hija mía, pero no es lo mismo como estar en su casa. Así es que entonces me tuve que estar 4 meses sin salir. Lo duro es cuando uno se queda sin dinero en El Salvador. Me enfermé, tuve que comprar medicina y de aquí pues una sobrina mía me ayudó para que mandarme dinero para estar comprando las medicinas allá. Solo podíamos comunicar por teléfono. Ella todos los días me llamaba. Me llamaba en la mañana, me llamaba en la tarde. Y en la noche, una vez en la noche que estaba más preocupada yo, me cayó la llamada de ella, que fueron como a las 8 de la noche. Yo me sentí tan contenta y alegre que ella pues me había llamado. Y bueno, eso era para mí yo sentía que era una bendición que tener la comunicación con ella. A mí me gusta ir a la iglesia. Yo soy de las personas que voy aquí a la iglesia adventista. Yo no he ido desde que empezó esto. Para mí fue difícil porque a mí me gustaba ir todos los sábados a la iglesia, los domingos en la tarde y los miércoles, pero ahora ni allí voy. No, yo tengo familia aquí, pero les digo no vengan, porque es peligroso, porque yo no me gusta andar entre medio de la gente para que no me vaya a pasar me considero que no lo voy a aguantar y entonces yo por eso me cuido mucho para no irme a infestar de esa pandemia. problemas de que uno se pone, porque quisiera estar alegre, pero no puede, porque la presión que uno tiene de estar solo adentro en la casa es difícil. No cualquiera pues se tienen que sentir mal. Yo he visto muchas personas que están muy mal de eso, de estar solo en casa. ¿Cuándo irá a pasar esto? Para hacer lo que hacíamos antes de salir, aunque sea batallando con mi carretilla, pero salíamos. Iba al CVS a comprar las cositas que necesitábamos, pero ahora no se puede. No se puede.
Good evening, everyone, y buenas noches a todos. Bienvenidos. Welcome to the National Hispanic Council on Aging's NHCOA Virtual Awards Ceremony and Fundraising event. The theme for tonight, A Time for Change. For 51 years, NHCOA has served as the nation's premier organization focused on improving the lives of Hispanic older adults, our abuelitos, our abuelitas, their families, and their caregivers. This year is no different. Each year, NHCOA also takes time to honor and celebrate trailblazers in the field of aging. Due to the tremendous challenges of the ongoing pandemic of COVID-19, NHCOA is developing innovative ways to continue engaging, informing, listening, and taking care of the communities we serve. Our virtual award ceremony tonight creates a safe space for us to celebrate our shared commitment to Hispanic families and to aging issues, and to acknowledge the trailblazers who are paving the way in these areas in these challenging times. This event is NHCOA's largest fundraising event of the year, so let's be generous. This year, the United States has faced more than its fair share of difficult experiences and devastations. Yet in the face of these challenges, those that we honor this evening have helped Latino communities endure and rise above these challenges. Hispanics, Latinos all across the country are remarkably resilient people, and 2020 has truly put our resiliency to the test. Resiliency is the ability to recover from difficult experiences and setbacks, to adapt, move forward, and even experience growth. This year, the United States has faced more than its fair share of difficult experiences and devastations. We have gone through this COVID-19 global pandemic, unprecedented, the elimination of pervasive racial health inequities, economic hardships due to the recession and financial uncertainties. Puerto Rico and its residents have experienced a debilitating series of earthquakes. They've had 11 with a magnitude of 5 or greater. An ongoing humanitarian crisis at our southern border, civil unrest, social injustice, the ongoing epidemic of racism and police brutality, and the consequences of unaddressed climate change, including brutal tornadoes, flooding, wildfires, hurricanes, and more. In addition to all of these tremendous challenges, Hispanic older adults also continue to face discrimination, xenophobia, ageism, and they struggle with healthy aging, economic security, housing, and access to crucial programs. Yet Hispanic communities continue to come together to support each other and to make amazing contributions to the United States, this country that we all love. Tonight, we also celebrate Latino heritage by sharing in the beauty of our culture, our differences, our traditions, and applauding our accomplishments, and there are many. Latinos should be very proud of our heritage, culture, and history, and we gladly share it with others so that they can experience the beauty that surrounds our lives each and every day. Before we begin our celebration, we also must acknowledge that none of this would be possible without the generous contributions and support of our sponsors of tonight's award celebration. Our event sponsors include AARP, AbbVie, Abbott, Herbalife Nutrition, Lyft, Lilly, PhRMA, Better Medicare Alliance, and Verizon. Thank you, gracias, for your continued support and dedication to Latino older adults. I am pleased to welcome the President and CEO of the National Hispanic Council on Aging, Dr. Yanira Cruz. She is among the nation's foremost advocates and spokespersons for diverse older adults and has been recognized for her commitment and her leadership on behalf of diverse older adults across the country. Welcome, Dr. Cruz.
Welcome to NHCOA's 2020 Awards Celebration, where we reflect on 2020, we honor trailblazers in the field of aging, and we look forward to the new year. Bienvenidos a la ceremonia anual de NHCOA, un lugar donde reflexionamos sobre los acontecimientos del 2020 y celebramos a los luminarios en el campo del adulto mayor. Let's get started. Change is one of the guarantees we can look forward to, whether we are ready for it or not. Sometimes change happens and we don't always realize it. Other times it is front and center. Change is often viewed as negative and evokes a sense of fear of the unknown. But change offers growth. It can be the start of something bigger, better, and much more beautiful. For me, change invokes the image of a butterfly whose life is full of change. As we move into 2021, we will face many changes. We have a new administration in the White House. We have approved a new vaccine for the COVID-19 virus. And like the caterpillar who must form its chrysalis to begin the transformation into a butterfly, we too must face change head on. As we reflect on 2020, one thing is sure, that this year has been shaped with challenges, hardships, losses, and civil unrest. We have also seen the emergence of many innovations, heroes, and global unification and resilience. Let us take some time to reflect on the positive changes 2020 has brought us. We saw firsthand the renewing nature of our planet as we reduce pollution and our carbon footprint. Nature once again thrived. We saw an improvement in medicine, innovation, technology, and digitalization as we had to adapt to keeping our communities safe during the pandemic. There is also a big push to address the digital divide for many of our communities who have been left out or falling through the gaps. While many of us are aware of the inequities that exist for many segments of our community, the pandemic and civil unrest have shone a new light on these inequities and reinvigorated the charge for equity in our society, especially for Black, Indigenous, Hispanic, or other communities of color and LGBT communities. There has been a huge surge of volunteering and companies coming forward to donate money, food, and medical equipment to support those affected by the pandemic and its impact. People are also realizing the importance of staying connected and are coming up with creative ways to reach out and show their loved ones and neighbors that they are cared for and loved. There has been a bigger focus and acknowledgement of the importance of mental health, an area that has often been stigmatized. We have also seen a growth in a sense of gratitude, which helps us build resilience. We can be grateful for the freedoms we used to take for granted, for the health professionals and other workers who keep us safe, and for our connections, our families, our friends. Many of us have also found a new perspective on daily activities, such as cooking or those odd jobs that we put off. While we will always continue to improve the lives of Hispanic older adults, their families, and their caregivers, and to ensure we are all able to age with dignity, in good health, and with economic security, the National Hispanic Council on Aging has also had to adapt and change in 2020. This year, we shifted our focus to address the COVID-19 pandemic, ensuring that our community had access to timely, accurate, and culturally competent information. We continue to increase awareness about the All of Us research program and promote Latino enrollment in health research participation, especially as the search for a COVID-19 vaccine continues. And we continue to support family caregivers and help them adapt in light of COVID-19 to things like distance caregiving and caring for chronic diseases during the pandemic. NHCOA continues to advocate for policies that benefit and support Hispanic older adults, their families, and caregivers, and raise awareness of legislation that has passed that is important to all of us, such as the CARES Act. NHCOA also worked diligently on raising awareness about the 2020 U.S. Census to ensure everyone gets counted. We also engage the communities we serve in voter education and awareness so that when eligible voters went to the polls, they were informed on the issues. Our work is highlighted in our 2020 Hispanic Older Adults Report, which I invite you to find in our website. We continue to advocate for the protection of valuable benefits such as housing, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and of course, access to healthcare must also continue to remain a priority, not only for those working in the field of aging, but for policymakers at all levels. As we are welcoming a new administration, we must continue to advocate for our values and empower Hispanic older adults, their families, and caregivers to advocate for themselves, for the issues that are important to them. We must promote continued appreciation and support for immigrants in this nation and the strength that they infuse into our communities through their talents and ingenuity. The time for us to come together is now. We must work together towards a stronger America for all. Regardless of the languages we speak, who we love, the color of our skin, our nationalities, and the religions we practice. I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cruz. Now I would like to welcome Cindy Padilla. Mrs. Padilla is one of the nation's strongest community leaders and advocates, and she brings 30 years of governmental experience to NHCOA. Her background in community organization, environmental protection, and volunteer mobilization is critical in the work that she does. Currently, Mrs. Padilla is the chairwoman of the board of directors for NHCOA. Welcome, Ms. Padilla.
Good evening, and welcome to the National Hispanic Council on Aging's 2020 Virtual Awards and Fundraising Ceremony, A Time for Change. My name is Cindy Padilla, and I am the chair of NHCOA. And even though we are not gathering together in person, we want to thank you for joining us as we honor and celebrate leaders and pacesetters in the field of aging. For decades, and more so recently, Latinx communities, immigrants, and non-immigrants have been targets of negative rhetoric and inhumane policies. Latinos experience destructive policies such as the public charge rule, the elimination of language protection services, children separated from their families at the border, women treated for gynecological procedures without their consent, and political voices offering the possibility of denying care for older adults during the times of COVID-19. This year has been particularly challenging for all of us. The COVID-19 pandemic has served as a stark reminder that we must address racial inequities present in our communities, especially since Black, Indigenous, Latinx, and other communities of color who already suffer from extensive health inequities have been hit the hardest by this virus. While many of us are aware of these inequities that exist in our communities, this pandemic has removed the veil for many others who have not had to experience the burden of these inequities. Lack of access to health care, the digital divide, food insecurity, lack of affordable housing, inequitable pay, disparities in education, and economic insecurity became vividly apparent and can no longer be ignored. And while many communities suffer from these disparities, it is brown and Black communities that are dying, especially because in times like these, many Latinos are on the front lines and are truly essential workers. On November 30th, COVID-19 claimed the life of Dr. Carlos Aruja Presa, a 51-year-old physician at HCA Houston Healthcare in Tumbel, Texas. Dr. Aruja Presa immigrated from El Salvador to the United States to continue his medical education and become a pulmonologist. When COVID-19 hit his community, he was on the front lines treating COVID-19 patients. Let us take just a brief pause to remember and honor Dr. Carlos Arocha, the more than 290,000 people in the United States and the more than 1.58 million people worldwide who have died from this disease. Thank you. The theme of our award ceremony this evening is a time for change, a very appropriate theme as we work to move past the year of 2020. And as we honor our awardees tonight, let us pause for a second and ask ourselves, what kind of change do we want to see? We at the National Hispanic Council on Aging want to remove the systemic barriers that prevent many people from aging in dignity. As an organization working together, we believe this can be accomplished. NHCOA envisions a society in which all Latino older adults have access to needed resources, are able to age securely with dignity, greater self-sufficiency, and in the best possible health, are able to be active members of their community and greater society, are valued and honored for their lifelong contributions to their families and society, and have a strong voice on issues of concern to them locally and nationally. As we charge ahead to the new year and beyond, we look forward to positive change. NHCOA is committed to continue our work to address racial inequities and biases against older adults. Thank you to all of our partners, sponsors, and to you for supporting our work throughout the year. We are grateful for your partnership and look forward to a productive new year. And now we hope you will enjoy the rest of this evening's virtual program. Thank you.
Now it's time for the awards, the exciting part of the evening. Today, we honor individuals whose efforts promoted change in an effort to achieve dignity, safety, and the well-being of older adults all across the country. It is my honor to present this year's Entrepreneurship Recognition Award. This award goes to an individual who has demonstrated excellence in innovation and commitment to the well-being of Hispanic older adults through collaborations between for-profit, nonprofit, private, and public organizations. This award goes to Mrs. Janet Mikulski, a nationally recognized expert and innovator in the field of stakeholder alliance development and programming. Mrs. Mikulski's background encompasses work on Capitol Hill, campaign and issue management, strategic communications, and long-term experience working side by side with healthcare and patient advocates across the United States. Mrs. Mikulski worked with Pfizer from 2001 to 2020, serving her entire tenure in the National Alliance Development arena, working to establish a new manner of long-term trusting partnerships for the pharmaceutical industry with nonprofit patient advocacy organizations. As the senior director, Janet developed many of the best-in-class programs, including the Pfizer Health Advocate Leaders Breakfast Series, providing expert education and speakers for the nonprofit healthcare advocacy community. Speakers included members of Congress, senior administration officials, media representatives, and senior representatives from academia, as well as Pfizer. With Janet's leadership, Pfizer created small and large educational and capacity building programs to enable organizations to build a louder, more impactful, more efficient, credible voice on behalf of the chronically ill patients they serve. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in acknowledging this year's Outstanding Community Service winner, Miss Janet Mikulski.
Good evening. It's always an honor to work with the NHCOA to give voice to the concerns of older Hispanic adults. This has been quite a year. Our health and societal challenges have been extraordinary, and the impact of COVID-19 on older adults in the Hispanic communities shows evidence of the damage and heartache that it's occurred to all. Thank goodness for organizations like NHCOA. They are a valuable connection to communities across the country and the individuals who live in them. With their education, outreach, and resources, they improve the lives of so many. NHCOA serves a vital role not only in representing to all the issues and concerns of their community, but in the collaborative ways they approach other organizations, making it possible for vital issues to advance and real progress to be made. Dr. Cruz in particular is a wonderful and tireless advocate for the issues that impact older adults across the country. She speaks not only with passion, but with facts and indisputable evidence to promote change and to protect the dignity, safety, and well-being of those she serves, and indeed all older Americans. Our world has been thrown upside down this year in more ways than one, but with vaccines, we now have a clear path toward restoring what we once took for granted. Next year at this time, let us all be together in person. It's my pleasure and my honor to work with the NHCOA, and I am humbled to receive the award. I thank you and I salute you.
The next award will be presented by the chairwoman of NHCOA's Board of Directors, Ms. Cindy Padilla. Welcome, Mrs. Padilla.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Again, my name is Cindy Padilla, and I am chairwoman of NHCOA's Board of Directors. It is my honor to present this year's Ophelia Rinaldi Award. This award goes to an individual who has demonstrated a lifetime commitment to improving the lives of older adults. This year's recipient is Mr. Eugene Gino Rinaldi, the Director of the Division of Senior Services for the City of Santa Fe, New Mexico. In this position, Mr. Rinaldi directs all facets of strategic planning, managing and implementing the City of Santa Fe's Older Americans Act Title III Seniors Programs, Corporation for National Community Services Programs, Senior Corps Volunteers, and Healthy Aging Programs as well. As part of his lifetime achievements, Mr. Rinaldi was appointed by former President Bill Clinton to the 1995 White House Conference on Aging and Disabilities Advisory Committee. In this committee, he participated in the development of national aging policy, including the process of planning, implementing, and reviewing the 1995 White House Conference on Aging. Mr. Rinaldi also developed resolutions, action plans, and established prioritizations for the conference. Resolutions which were presented to the President of the United States and Congress. Mr. Rinaldi also served as Cabinet Secretary for the New Mexico Aging and Long-Term Services Department. Under this position, he was responsible for the effective leadership and management of all aspects of the New Mexico Aging and Long-Term Services Department, including financial services, human resources, service coordination, contract management and compliance, strategic planning, and development. Under his leadership, the department experienced a more than 12% increase in the number of consumers receiving aging network services, such as meals and transportation, and a more than 16% increase in the number of adult protective service recipients. He advanced the Aging and Disability Resource Center, which is a consumer resource center, from a ranking of 12th nationally to 8th. He also directed state, local, tribal, and national legislative advocacy and policy efforts. We celebrate Gino's commitment to making a difference in the field of aging and applaud his commitment to addressing racial inequities. Congratulations, Gino.
Welcome to my neighborhood, the barrio. We're here at the Mary Esther Gonzalez Senior Center in the heart of Santa Fe. Santa Fe is the state capital of the great state of New Mexico. I'd like to thank the National Hispanic Council on Aging for an incredible award. And this award, especially since it's named after my mother, has much more significance to me. I brought my mother's award that was given to her in 2017. Unfortunately, she died before she was able to receive it. So I thought I'd bring it to my presentation. Dr. Cruz, I really appreciate you and everything you do, the governing board as well. Thank you for this award. It's very difficult to receive an award named after your mother, especially since she's not here to help share in it. I miss her dearly, but I know she's here in spirit, and she's probably up there saying, "That's my hito." My mom and my dad were everything to me. They were my first and lasting mentors, and I miss them. 43 years ago, my mom made me drive the bus at the Bernalillo Senior Center because she wanted to keep me out of trouble for the summer until I went into the military. Little did I know that would start a journey of a lifetime. On this journey, there were so many people that played a significant role in helping me to get to where I am today. In Utah, at Weber State University, there was Dr. Daniel Gallego and Dr. Roy Van Orman. Dr. Gallego introduced me to the National Hispanic Council on Aging. I believe he was the first president. And Dr. Roy Van Orman introduced me to the Western Gerontological Society. Eventually became the American Society on Aging. It was at the American Society on Aging meeting in Anaheim, California, where I met Dr. Fernando Torres Gil. Man, I wanted to be that guy. He was smooth, he was brilliant, and he knew policy. And he was there with a group of folks from USC students, Laura Trejo, Ria Randa, Valentine Villa, and a bunch of others. But it was then that I realized I wanted to make gerontology my profession. And so that's what I did. Many others were involved. There was Dr. Marta Sotomayor, Dr. Javier Sainz, Dr. Donna Yee, Dr. Janet Takamura, Robert Brancado, Jose Mondragon, and so many more that provided me with mentoring, with insight, with sort of a fast track to getting to where I wanted to be and where I've continued to be, and that is working with our older adults. When I came back to New Mexico, again, there were very many more. There were so many more that helped. I want to thank them all. And I believe that it's helped me to go full circle. I started out with the ancianos driving the bus, and now I'm back here at the Mary Esther Gonzalez Center providing services to our ancianos. And I very much appreciate that. During these times of COVID, all those experiences and all that knowledge that people share with me is what I draw on, as well as my military background as we have dealt with COVID. And I believe we've maintained an incredible amount of safety and vigilance in helping our seniors. But we want to be here when it's over. We want to be here to receive them and welcome them back, because that's what it's about. For that, I'm very grateful. So again, I want to thank the National Hispanic Council on Aging for this incredible honor. And I look forward to continually working with you. And I really encourage you to continue to develop leaders, develop mentors, in order to help people along this path, because you shouldn't do it alone. It can be a lonely path, but it can also be a very rewarding path. So again, thank you very much, and it's time to go back to work. Muchas gracias.
Our next presenter is Irene Bueno. She is the co-founder and partner of NVG LLC. Today, Ms. Bueno will present NHCOA's President's Award.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Irene Bueno, and I'm a member of the NHCOA Business Advisory Council. It is my honor to present this year's President's Award. The recipient of this award goes to an individual who has shown a strong commitment to supporting policy and programs aimed at ensuring older adults and their caregivers of all backgrounds get a fair chance of succeeding in this world. This year's recipient is Mr. Oscar Ramirez, co-founder and partner at Fulcrum Public Affairs, the only 100% Black and Latinx-owned government relations firm in the Washington, D.C. area. Since its founding in early 2019, Oscar and his co-founder Dana Thompson have built a $3 million plus advocacy firm representing Fortune 100 companies, trade associations, innovative startups, and mission-driven nonprofits. Oscar is a seasoned Democratic strategist with 2 decades of policy and political experience in senior roles on Capitol Hill, on national political campaigns, and in the Obama administration and at other government relations firms. As an alum of the Obama administration, Oscar served as a senior advisor to Secretary of Labor Hilda Solis. He spent 7 years on Capitol Hill as Chief of Staff and Legislative Director for 3 members of Congress, including Financial Services and Oversight Subcommittee Chairman Al Green. He also held leadership roles on presidential campaigns of John Kerry in 2004 and Barack Obama in 2008, and has served as a member of the Democratic National Committee. Oscar has been recognized as one of DC's top lobbyists by The Hill, one of Washington's most influential movers and shakers under 40 by Washington Life magazine, and as one of the top 40 under 40 Latinos in American politics by the Huffington Post. Oscar sits on the Democratic National Committee's exclusive National Finance Council and on the board of Clean Water Action. Ladies and gentlemen, please acknowledge this year's President Award winner, Mr. Oscar Ramirez.
Thank you, Dr. Cruz, and the entire team at the National Hispanic Council on Aging. It is a tremendous honor to receive the NHCOA President's Award this evening. For me, like for so many in our community, our older adults are what connect our past, our present, and our future. Their journey through life is what has opened the door for their children and their children's children. Their life experiences guided us when we were young and continue to guide us as we become older adults ourselves. When I think of older adults, I think of my 99-year-old grandmother, Mami Rosa, who lived with us when I was little. She taught me math in the summers when I was in second grade. It was because of her that I was in fifth grade math when I was in second grade. Unfortunately for me, she moved out a couple of years later, so I was still in fifth grade math when I was in fifth grade. I also think of my parents, my mom and dad, who came to this country from Peru when they were only 27 years old. They didn't know anyone, they didn't have any money, and they often faced discrimination and other challenges all too familiar to immigrants in this country. But what they did have was a desire to make a better life for themselves and their children, and the determination and persistence to make their dreams become a reality. As if that was not enough, they also raised 4 children, me, my brothers, George and David, and my sister, Christina, who strive every day to make them proud. My generation in our family has already begun to have our own children. We will soon be the older adults for them. I hope that we are able to do as much for them as our parents and grandparents did for us. It is just as important, however, for us to take care of our parents and grandparents as they get older. But not all older adults have the support system they need to enjoy what should be the best years of their lives. It is because of organizations like NHCOA that older adults like my parents and grandparents can get the support and services that they want, that they need, and that they deserve. Thank you, Dr. Cruz, and your team for never forgetting what makes our country great, our communities great, and our families great. And thank you for this honor tonight.
Let's welcome our next presenter, Mr. Tim Vask, Senior Director of Advocacy and Strategic Alliance at PhRMA. Today, Mr. Vask will present the Outstanding Community Service Award. Welcome, Mr. Vask.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tim Vaske, and it's my honor to present this year's Outstanding Community Service Award. The recipient of this award goes to an individual who has demonstrated excellence, innovation, and commitment to the well-being of Hispanic older adults. Jackie Reyes-Llanes serves as Director of the Mayor's Office of Latino Affairs and is responsible for advocating and making the Latino community an integral part of the District of Columbia. The mandate of the agency, which is part of the Executive Office of the Mayor, is to ensure that the full range of health, education, employment, and social services are made available to Latino residents in the district. Director Reyes-Llanes' experience spans more than 15 years of commitment to the diverse, growing Latino community here in DC. In her previous role, she acted as the Latino Affairs and Community Outreach Director for former DC Councilmember Jim Graham. While serving with Graham, Director Reyes-Llanes spearheaded initiatives to address the needs of Latino residents in the district. Several of her accomplishments include organizing gang prevention activities that successfully reduce street violence and crime, and helping secure financing to rebuild the Monsignor Romero apartments in Mount Pleasant, which were destroyed by a fire in 2008. Director Reyes has deep roots in the community and a track record of success working in support of causes that help the Latino community. She is recognized throughout the district for her efforts to create a safe space for the immigrant community through strategic lobbying for immigration reform. Director Reyes is a Ward 5 resident and Salvadoran activist. She made DC her home in 1990. Ladies and gentlemen, please acknowledge this year's Astounding Community Service Award winner, Ms. Jackie Reyes.
It's an honor to receive this award. This not only goes for me, but the Mayor Bowser and the rest of our team. We are always looking for ways to improve the life of our seniors in Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser's commitment is to provide service with dignity and respect to all of our seniors, and our seniors knows that they have my heart. So when we deliver services for our seniors, my office relies on organizations like the National Council of Aging, especially Casa Iris and the leadership of Janita. And we provide, which allows us to provide culturally appropriate programs to create close relationships with our seniors. For example, when the pandemic just started, we got together to do COVID testing at Casa Iris and do the cleaning for the COVID. And also just a couple of months ago, in association with the DC Department of Aging and the other government agency in Latino businesses, my office delivered what we call paquetes de esperanza. And along with electronic tablets for seniors to be connected with the family members, and some of scheduled activities break with the cycle of extreme isolation during these difficult times. It is not only that way that the Mayor Bowser shows how much she cares about the well-being of our seniors. Finally, I want to thank the National Council on Aging for recognizing our efforts of the Bowser administration and the Office of the Mayor's Office on Latino Affairs for loving our DC Latino seniors. Before I go, I would like to say, please do not forget, no nos olvidemos to wear our mask us and put them on all the time. Thank you and have a great day.
It is my honor to present the Research Recognition Award to an individual who has demonstrated a commitment to improving the health of diverse populations through research. This year's recipient is Ms. Florencia Gonzalez, the co-director of the Inclusion of Diverse Populations Core under the Georgetown Howard University's Center for Clinical and Translational Science. She also served as community liaison for the center's Community Engagement Core. Ms. Gonzalez specializes on leading efforts to establish community academic partnerships for the inclusion of underrepresented groups in health research. She also supports investigators in the implementation of community and patient-engaged best practices. She has prior experience managing clinical trials and overseeing disparity health research within community settings. Additionally, she has a history of grassroots field experience conducting case management with immigrant populations and managing public health projects in cross-cultural settings such as Sub-Saharan Africa and Honduras. Congratulations, Ms. Gonzalez.
Hello, my name is Florencia Gonzalez, and I'm here today to receive the award from the National Hispanic Coalition of Aging, for which I'm really grateful. Thank you so much for selecting me for this prestigious award. I work under the Georgetown Howard University Center for Clinical and Translational Science. And since I started 7 years ago with the center, I've been working closely with Yanira Cruz, her team, and her team in NHCOA. And it has been a wonderful collaboration, not just between myself and NHCOA and the team, but also with our center. NHCOA is a close and important partner for our GUTS Center. That's what we call our center for short, GUTS. And we are very grateful that we have such a wonderful community partner. And a little bit about myself. I have an MPH, a Master of Public Health from George Washington University, and I've been very passionate about public health since I think I did my first internship in my native country of Honduras worked with adolescent youth in HIV/AIDS prevention. At that time, I knew that this was my calling and have not looked back. Since then, I've worked nationally with immigrant populations and internationally in sub-Saharan Africa, and have done an internship, as I mentioned, in my native country of Honduras. It's allowed me to really gain different cultural perspectives, which has informed my work and has brought me to the point of many years of working with community organizations to be in a position of serving as a liaison or a bridge between the community world and academia, and bringing those two worlds together. So it's really a privilege to be in this position as both co-director of Including Diverse Populations Core and Community Networks Manager for our Community Engagement Core of our Gut Center. So with that said, I just can't emphasize enough how grateful I am for this award. And I do accept this award not only for myself, but for our Community Engagement Core of our Gut Center, because we all choose to follow certain values, including building mutually beneficial partnerships and ensuring that these partnerships are truly reciprocal in nature, and that we are there for our partners as much as they are there for us, and informing our research work and ensuring that we are implementing culturally and linguistically appropriate approaches in health research. So once again, thank you, Yanira, and the staff of NHCOA. And ¿qué más puedo decir? Muchísimas gracias, les tengo mucho cariño y nada, que sigan el buen trabajo. Un abrazo muy fuerte.
Lastly, let's welcome Yvette Peña, Vice President of the Multicultural Leadership of the Hispanic Latino Audience Strategy at AARP. She will provide important information about caregiving. This section is brought to you by AARP.
Hola y buenas tardes. Good evening. I am Yvette Peña, Vice President of Multicultural Leadership at AARP. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight, and thank you to Dr. Janira Cruz and the NHCOA team for being such great hosts and for your partnership. I am honored to be here at this very special occasion with all of you. 2020 has been a particularly tough year, and even more so for caregivers who are heads of household. As 61% of caregivers are employed and report on challenges of stress, financial burden, and isolation, many don't have the luxury of staying at home with their loved ones and must go outside of their homes to work. They return to their homes to continue to fulfill their role as caregivers, often to care for older family members who are particularly susceptible to COVID-19. Knowing this new normal and how it is affecting and reshaping caregiving, it is important to provide caregivers with tools and resources that will provide support. At AARP, we are here for our comunidad, and together we will get through this. AARP offers valuable and useful caregiving resources to help caregivers and their families care for their loved ones. Please visit our website, aarp.org/caregiving, or in Espanol, aarp.org/cuidar. Additionally, one of the resources, the Prepare to Care Guide, features 5 simple steps that will guide you on how to become a caregiver and build a support network. During this pandemic, we continue to provide valuable information and resources for coping with the coronavirus. Please visit our websites, aarp.org/coronavirus, or in Espanol, please go to aarp.org/el coronavirus. We have the resources you need to support you when you need us, because juntos es posible. Muchas gracias and enjoy the rest of the show. And now, I'd like to introduce Nancy McPherson, AARP California's State Director, who will present the 2020 Caregiving AARP Service Award.
Good evening to all our guests joining us virtually. My name is Nancy McPherson, and I serve as the State Director for AARP California. Family caregivers are the cornerstone of our nation's long-term care system, and across the nation, 1 in 5 Americans are family caregivers, totaling an estimated 53 million people who have provided care to an adult or a child with special needs. Within the Hispanic Latino population, 8 million adults serve as caregivers, providing on average 26 hours of care per week. Recognizing their invaluable work, AARP has been fighting to support family caregivers who help make it possible for older adults and other loved ones to live independently at home where they want to be. AARP is committed to supporting these caregivers by advocating on their behalf at the state and local levels. Our caregiving efforts in California have included advocacy, program and resource development, education, and community outreach. However, our efforts in reaching and supporting family caregivers would not be possible without the leadership of our very own volunteers. This year's award recipient is recognized at the state and national level for her volunteer service and for being a fierce advocate. She offered the gift of her volunteer service to AARP after her own very successful professional career as a top leader in state government and the private sector. She has been an outstanding leader in every way and has strengthened AARP's influence and standing in California by being a continuous voice for the 50 plus and their families. As a volunteer with AARP California, she has served on our executive council, has represented California on AARP's National Policy Council, and is currently our volunteer lead for AARP's Ayudando a Quien Ayuda, Helping the Helper, a free community program for Latino caregivers in Los Angeles County. Her expertise and leadership were and remain essential in helping us lift this unique program, which after only 2 years has already made an important impact in the community by encouraging Latino family caregivers to seek local resources and assistance that can help alleviate their daily stresses of caregiving. For her extraordinary work and leadership, it is my honor to present the 2020 Caregiving AARP Service Award to Rita Saenz.
Muchísimas gracias for this prestigious award. It is such an honor to be acknowledged by the National Hispanic Council on Aging. Organizations like the National Hispanic Council on Aging and AARP recognize the immense contribution of family caregivers and have been out front to provide support to them. All of the members of my family are caregivers. I accept the award on their behalf and on behalf of the estimated 53 million caregivers across the country. I am the volunteer lead for California AARP's Exceptional Outreach Program to Hispanic caregivers in Los Angeles County called Ayudando a Quien Ayuda, Helping the Helper. The California AARP office, in conjunction with USC Family Caregiver Support Center and the county's Information Center 211, offer free education, caregiver support, resources, and hope, both in English and in Spanish, to caregivers in LA. In its 2 years of implementation, Ayudando a Quien Ayuda has made a tremendous impact. To date, an estimated 715 family caregivers have accessed the program at AARP and at the National Council on Aging, Hispanic Council on Aging. We know and understand caregivers. It is a labor of love, but it can sometimes come at tremendous cost. There's a lot of stress. We worry about the health of our loved one, their future. We struggle to navigate health, social services, and benefit issues. Constant attention is required. It can be overwhelming, no matter how much you care for your loved one. Imagine not even realizing that you're a caregiver. For many of us, we are just familia, doing what we do for each other, not knowing that the resources exist to help us. That is the role of Ayudando a Quien Ayuda, to inform and link to services. Our efforts have met with tremendous success, thanks to all involved. There's a great team behind this program, from staff to volunteers, who are all committed to ensuring caregivers receive the help they need, in addition to the evaluation of our progress along the way, in hopes that this project can be successfully implemented in other parts of the country. Thank you to AARP, which has made caregivers a priority and given me the opportunity and the privilege to contribute as the lead volunteer for this wonderful project. And thank you again to the National Hispanic Council on Aging for this award and all the hard work you do on behalf of our caregivers. Thanks.
You ready 5 seconds, Julie? Yes, I'm counting.
great evening. We are so fortunate to be celebrating and recognizing individuals whose legacy and work improves the lives of older adults, including Hispanic American older adults. On behalf of NHCOA, congratulations to all of this evening's awardees. Your work is critical. We urge everyone joining us tonight to please continue to advocate and empower your communities. Together, we are stronger, especially in the face of the tremendous challenges that we are currently facing. Now we will switch gears to the fundraising portion of our evening. Let's welcome Ms. Cindy Padilla, who will moderate this portion.
Now it is my pleasure to moderate tonight's fundraising portion of the evening. As we all know, 2020 has been a difficult year. We have faced a worldwide pandemic that has altered the way we live and interact with one another. We continue to face the reality of ignoring long-standing systemic racism and health inequities, and we share increased concerns around climate change. At times this year, and well, perhaps most of the time, this year has felt frightening, intimidating, and exhausting. However, a possible silver lining is that times of rapid change often bring with them rapid progress. And yes, we have seen that progress this year. The National Hispanic Council on Aging has pivoted to meet the needs of the communities we serve while addressing the many challenges brought on by the pandemic. We are forging new partnerships with organizations and companies to help address the needs of Hispanic older adults. NHCOA continues to work towards our vision of a society in which all Hispanic older adults have access to needed resources, are able to age securely with dignity, greater self-sufficiency, and in the best possible health, are able to be active members of their community and greater society, are valued and honored for their lifelong contributions to their families and society, and have a strong voice on issues of concern to them, locally and nationally. Today, more than ever, Hispanic older adults need your help. We invite each one of you to join us and help us raise funds that directly impact NHCOA's ability to continue our programming of providing nutritional services, grocery delivery services, and our efforts to share the best and most up-to-date information on the COVID-19 pandemic. So how can you help us achieve our mission? Well, it's easy. You can donate to NHCOA. Every dollar you donate makes a difference. You can make donations of any amount at donatenow.networkingforgold.org/NHCOA. You can help us spread the word on social media using the hashtag #SharingTheBest of all of us. You can take photos demonstrating how you are sharing your best and then post on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram using #NHCOA, NHCOA, and #SharingTheBestOfUs. And remember to always do something kind for another person. I want to provide a little bit of information about how your donations can impact Hispanic older adults. NHCOA owns and operates 2 low-income senior living housing facilities, Casa Iris in Washington, D.C., and Mira Vista in Garden City, Kansas. Both facilities provide housing for older adults ages 62 years and older. We have 150 residents. Most of our residents are Hispanic, Latino American, and African American, and 100% are low income. Prior to the pandemic, data from the Feeding America program showed us that in 2018, 5.3 million older adults were food insecure, meaning they lacked reliable access to a sufficient quantity of affordable, nutritious food. These rates do vary by region, and in 2018 in the District of Columbia, 14.3% of older adults experienced food insecurity. Since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, food insecurity has only grown in the United States. Again, Feeding America explains Latinx individuals are almost twice as likely to live in a food insecure household compared to non-Hispanic white individuals. This is particularly true for older adults, many who have been isolated and have had food programs suspended during this time. And recently we have seen on the news mile-long lines for food distribution In fact, the economic freefall from the coronavirus pandemic is projected to plunge 50 million people into food insecurity by the end of this year. Furthermore, 40% of Americans report that for the first time, they have struggled to afford something to eat. Experts are saying that it is likely that there's greater hunger in the United States today than at any point since 1998, the year that the Census Bureau began collecting food insecurity data. We must come together to address the real challenges and needs of older adults. With your help, together we can support Hispanic older adults, their families, and caregivers in their efforts to stay safe and healthy. It is supporters like you that allow NHCOA to improve the lives of older adults, their families, and their caregivers. If you wish to donate, you can access the link provided in this video or again at donatenow.networkforgood.org/NHCOA. Your generosity makes a big difference in the lives of older Hispanic adults across this country. Thank you for your support and for joining us tonight. Together, we will see a new year of change. Thank you.
Before ending tonight's program, I would like to give a sincere gracias to NHCOA sponsors, AARP, AbbVie, Abbott, Herbalife Nutrition, Lyft, Lilly, PhRMA, Better Medicare Alliance, and Verizon. Also, thank you to NHCOA's staff, presenters, awardees, dancers, musicians, and of course all of you for your ongoing dedication to older adults and for your time tonight. Our work continues every day, and together we are stronger. Let's continue advocating for programs and resources to better support our older adults and their caregivers. Together, we can make their golden years ones of joy and peace, surrounded by those they love. It is everyone's job to work towards stopping the spread of COVID-19, and it is our duty to continue to comply with public health guidelines, such as wearing masks that cover your nose and your mouth, practicing physical distancing, and washing your hands. Let's be agents of change. Let's do it for our family, our friends, our older adults, abuelitas, abuelitos, our community, the world we live in, and for ourselves. Hope is essential in times like these, but let's remember that you are not alone, and together we will succeed. The heart of NHCOA goes out to each and every one of you. A todos, thank you, gracias, happy holidays, felices fiestas.
Don't give up, there's still time to reach and start anew. Accept your shadows, bury your fears, free yourself from the weight, and continue the flight. Don't give up, because that's what life is. Continuing the journey, chasing your dreams, unlocking time, removing the rubble, uncovering the sky. Don't give up, please don't yield. Even if the cold burns, even if the fear bites, even if the sun hides and the wind quiets, there's still fire in your soul. There's still life in your dreams. Because life is yours, and yours also the desire. Because you care for it, and because I care for you. Because wine and love exist, it's true. Because there are no wounds that time can't heal. Open the doors, remove the locks, abandon the walls that protected you. Live life and accept the challenge. Recover laughter, practice singing, drop your guard, and extend your hands. Unfold your wings and try again. Celebrate life and return to the skies. Don't give up. Please don't yield. Even if the cold burns, even if the fear bites, even if the sun hides and the wind quiets, There's still fire in your soul. There's still life in your dreams. Because every day is a new start. Because this is the hour and the best moment. Because you are not alone. Because I care for you.